Let's talk with Tristan in Texas, because Tristan has been on the line for a while and has an idea about objective morality. Tristan, welcome to the show.
Welcome, Tristan.
Hello. I've been a huge fan of Talk Heathen and Atheist Experience. I'm very excited to get to talk to y'all.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you on the line. What can we help you with?
Yeah. So I've been thinking about the idea of objective morality and how if it can exist and how like it would like kind of change or affect our everyday anything, right? And I believe I've come at least somewhere near the idea of a objective morality or intrinsic morality. I don't know which one more illustrates what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Can I say something? Can I say something, Tristan? I appreciate the way you framed it. You didn't come at us with checkmate. I've got something. It's more like I'm zeroing in on something, and I think you're going to say, let's try it out and see if it works. Right, Tristan?
Completely.
Cool. I like
it. Awesome. This guy has some good banter possibilities going on. All right. So let's decide after we hear your theory about whether it better fits objective versus intrinsic morality, because those are very different things. But I don't want to make a decision on which one it is before we hear what you have to say.
No, I understand. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially we don't know everything in the universe. We, at least from what I understand, we know very little about what could exist, what is. Like, there's so many what ifs and buts regarding everything that is. And so and as far as we are aware, there is no at least true objective or intrinsic moral or like moral value in any way. Like, there's nothing that truly matters or objectively matters. It's all like we decide what we matter. Like we decide to be humanists because we value these things, but it's not necessarily intrinsic to the universe or anything like that. It's more of we are human, like a lot of just pathways down that way with no true objectivity.
Like asteroids don't care about genocide.
Say again?
Like asteroids don't care about genocide. It's not intrinsic in the... Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But because we don't know everything, that means there could be something that either objectively or morally matters out there. Not that it does or that there is even a possibility, but because we lack all the knowledge and all the information of the universe that we could properly say or assert anything, then it is our job to learn about the universe, to question, find out all this information. Because if there is something that is objectively or morally valuable, is morally is objectively or intrinsically valuable in a moral sense that exists out there in one way or another, then we should know about this and we should try and learn about this. It may exist, it may not exist, but we can't know until we learn everything there is. And because it could exist, then it is our job to continue learning. And because it could exist, then it is morally good, or I would say morally good, to learn about this and to try and ascertain more and more knowledge of the universe until we either find that it does or it does not.
Okay, so what you're saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, is that the goal of accumulating more knowledge and the act of learning more is in itself intrinsically moral?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's honestly, like, I don't know how much I like or find useful the idea of intrinsic morality as a concept, but hey, if that's your moral compass is just learning as much as you can, I'll take it. Like, we have no qualm.
Yeah, I like it, but I don't think it necessarily follows. I think that you could still have a very myopically focused, non-seeking an objective truth out there and still be satisfying a super relativistic kind of morality. But I like it as a general principle for trying to know as many true things and as few false things as possible. This is a good maxim to hold to achieve that, but that desire itself seems relatively I don't know. I'm not there.
I think the only caveat I would have, Tristan, is the only way we would be able to actually determine if that was moral is if the thing we were looking for, that objective morality, cared about whether or not we looked for it, right? So like,
it doesn't even matter whether or not it cares or not. It's merely the fact that something out there could be moral or could be intrinsically moral or valuable or any of the, the things that, like, it's just an intrinsic property of value in some kind. Whether or not it cares, we find out about it, whether or not it even exists. The idea that it can exist means that it must be important for us to find it. If it does not exist, then the goal of finding it is meaningless. But because we can't possibly know that until we find out everything, we have to find everything.
What? How does that look any different from? How does that change a person's behavior as far as trying to find the best way to make society function, to make sure that individuals don't suffer, to make sure that justice is served in this lifetime? What does it look? How does it look different to pursue the aims of scientific exploration or any of that? Like, how would you act differently with that principle?
So the whole goal is obviously to find more information, to better ascertain, like finding more and more and more as we can, and getting faster and faster until we find everything, obviously.
Oh, I have a question. What if learning, it feels to me that it necessitates that learning everything includes learning things like how long it takes somebody to die of hypothermia in a controlled environment. Is that morally good? Because we are learning about a new thing, but we are actively violating someone's autonomy and causing harm to that individual.
I think this would answer both of them. It's the value of information and gaining knowledge is that which is moral. Which whatever helps us to ask more and be able to find more information is inherently moral. So, if say which this is just hypothetical, but say beating your children right at age 3 or 4 meant that they were better scientists and better at learning and ascertaining knowledge later on in life, because that helps us to find more and learn more. That is intrinsically good. That is morally good or whatever. And all things set, if it ultimately came about that religion, right? If being religious meant we asked and we learned more, which I don't believe it does, but just the idea that it did meant that we do this more, then that is good. And all things follow suit on that. Whether or not
Whoa, this is so cool. This is okay, Johnny, this is exactly that episode from Voyager where the doctor recreates the Cardassian surgeon to help save B'Elanna.
B'Elanna Torres, half Klingon, half human engineer of the USS Voyager.
Okay, but here's the thing. At the beginning, you think that they are aligned morally because they both value above all else the pursuit of information and the pursuit of knowledge, and that to them means morality. And you're like, yeah, I agree with both of these. This is awesome. And as you go, you learn that the doctor prioritizes moral action that values consent and autonomy, and the Cardassian surgeon values knowledge even at the expense of an individual's autonomy. And that ultimately is the pull apart in that episode. And Tristan, I think we just had that moment. I was absolutely on board with you, and I was like, Tristan's making sense. And then you said that, and I was just like, no, this was like one of those movie twists in the middle of the episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tristan, I've got two bones to pick with this. The first one is that while you were talking about that, torturing children or beating children to make them better scientists, I kept thinking about Nazi scientists doing whatever they could do to advance their goal of creating a master race. And then V mentioned the Cardassians, who are an allegory for the Nazis in the Star Trek universe. But my second beef with you is that you gave V some ammunition against me to say that Voyager is a superior Star Trek show. And I don't appreciate that, Tristan. I got a beef with you now.
Oh my God. Okay, Tristan, we need to move on to other callers. I think that you're kind of there, but you absolutely need to amend your ideas around consent, autonomy, and causing harm if we are going to be on the same page about an intrinsic morality. So thanks for calling in, though.
Understood. No, I very much appreciate it. I hope you'll have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.
But if I had a bad day and it benefited science, would that be better?